Hey everybody. Hey everybody. Hey everybody. Um, let's see. All right. I had to get on my tablet. Sorry YouTube, I had to come back out and come back in, and I still didn't finish setting up all the settings. But the Monday encouragement word for the day that we spoke on this morning is walking in our truth. And I know walking in our truth is not easy, and sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's difficult, but our truth is what is our identity. Our truth is inside of us. Our truth is who we really are, our authentic self. Our truth is what we walk in, what we live in every day. And sometimes there are some things about ourselves that we have to explore about ourselves that sometimes can be a little bit hurtful. Some things that we already knew about ourselves, we may not want to come to grips with before. I've been there and I've done that. We've all had an experience in our lives where we knew the truth about some things or something in our life, and we really didn't want to come to terms and grips with that because maybe we are scared of the unknown, or maybe we fear what other people are going to say, or you know, maybe it's just emotional thing for us. It could be something that's dear to your heart. It could be something that you just really haven't faced, that you need to face. So I'm just throwing out a little examples out there, but just speaking on this morning on the other two platforms, walking in our truth, it's not always easy because sometimes we're not always seeing the results as it is. Sometimes we're looking face front in the natural, we're looking head on, and we're thinking that, oh, I didn't think that this was going to be this hard. I didn't think that walking in my truth and walking in my purpose and walking in who I really am was going to be this hard. Why? But sometimes we have to realize, why didn't we think it would be hard? Because nothing in life is easy, but sometimes that's just natural and human of us to realize how hard some things are and how hard it is to go through the process of certain things. And there's no way, as I was saying earlier, there's no way we can skip the process. There's just no way you can skip the process in life. I mean, we can always find ways to try to go around the process. We can always find ways to try to skip the process, but it doesn't help. It doesn't work, because guess what? When we try to go around or when we try to skip over it, it's going to be a mess, and we're going to have to come back to full circle to it. And sometimes, and most times, we come back to full circle around it more than one time, because the reason why we have to do that is because we haven't went through the process, and we keep trying to miss the mark. And that's the mark that we don't want to miss. Everybody has to go through a process in life. Everyone has to endure some pain in life. Like, that's inevitable. There's no way that you're not going to feel any pain and not grow, because you have to grow, and you have to go through pain. You have to go through pain for growth. Pain is growth. I talked about this on my podcast in season 2, I think in last year when I was in season 2, and I may have even spoken on this on my podcast in season 1. And I do have a podcast, Fearless Daughter's Dream, which was rebranded. It was Stay True Podcast, but now it is Fearless Daughter's Dream podcast. And I'm thinking about, you all help me with the name. I am thinking about changing it back to the Stay True Podcast. But anyway, that's another that'll be for another video. But I want to continue to talk about walking in our truth and exploring our truth, exploring who we are. And like I said, I did an episode that pain is growth, and that may be another episode. I may do a part 2 to that, because we go through so many growth spurts that we don't even understand, that we haven't even came grips to know. But when we go through it, we have a better understanding, because then there's more wisdom to gain from, and there's more knowledge to gain from. And like I said, we have to go through something. So no matter how many times we have to go around the process or try to skip around the process, we want to know why we keep having to start over. It's because we cut corners. And the problem is we got to stop cutting corners in life. And a lot of us have done that. We've cut a lot of corners in life. And that's just not fair, because we have to go through to get to the promises in our life. We have to go through to grow in life. We have to go through to reap the rewards in our life. There's no way, we try to cut corners, but there's no way we can continue to cut corners. There's just no way, because we're going to always find ourselves back to step one. That's with a lot of things in our life: personal, business wise, professional wise, lifestyle wise. I know I've been there, and I'm pretty sure some of you all have been there too. So I want to share and encourage you all on today, on this Monday motivation video on today, is that we have to walk in our truth. It is not going to be an easy task. It never has been, but it's well worth it. As long as we continue to stay consistent and confident in the things that we know we are supposed to do and that we're out to do, as long as we continue to change our mindset, and we got to have the right direction in life. We have to use wisdom in life, and a lot of times we don't always use it. Yes, sometimes we make mistakes. Yes, sometimes we have to try things and befriend some people, right? To get to know who they really are or what this really is. And then we find out, wait a minute, this is not it for me. This is not a good fit for me. This thing or this person, people, places, and things. Those of you who follow me know I talk about that. People, places, and things. Sometimes we find out things the hard way. Because sometimes when we receive a warning, sometimes we ignore it. Yeah, sometimes when we receive a warning, sometimes we ignore it. Been there, done that. And we have to find out who people really are. We have to find out who is really on our side. Then we have to find out a project or opportunity don't really work for us the way that we thought was going to work for us, you know. And the reason why sometimes we find it out the hard way is because we are the ones who ignored the signs. And that's life. And sometimes we do that. So don't beat yourself up about it if you've had to go around in circles at some point. I have had to do it because I ignored a lot of signs in my life. Throughout my 42 years, I have ignored some signs. But as I have grown through my 42 years, I have gained much wisdom. Do I use wisdom all the time? I'm talking about myself, you all. No, I have not used wisdom all the time. But I now can see signs in different things. I can see when things are familiar. I'm pretty sure you can see when things are familiar. You know when things are familiar. You know when things are not good for you. You know when things are going to turn for not for the bad. You know when something is not a good fit for you. You know when something or someone is not a good fit for you. But sometimes we give people, things, and places the benefit of the doubt. But if you know you've already been through that test before, you've got to let your wisdom settle in. You've got to let your spirit of discernment settle in and be like, no, this is really not good for me. Yeah, it looks good. It looks like a good opportunity, or he or she really is a good person. They really seem to have a good heart, but then there's still something that's missing. And I'm not saying that, you know, people are just totally bad. I mean, there's a lot of people that are just not good for us. And they're good for other people, but they're not good for us. There are some people who are not ready for what we're ready for. That's just life. And sometimes we just got to pull away, and we just got to say no, you know. You may like that person, they may have some good qualities, and I'm talking about people all around, not just friendships, family relationships, all relationships. We can love all people and we can pray for everybody, but then there's just only certain people who can be connected to you in the season that you are in, and sometimes we don't want to accept the fact that that person is not in the season where I'm at, or and they may could have only been in your life just for that season back then and there. And sometimes we try to bring people back in a new season. It's not meant to be that way. So what I mean walking in truth is walking into your purpose, walking into who you really are. And I just want to stay stuck on the process, because we don't need to get sidetracked about jumping off or going around or skipping around or ignoring the process that we got to go through to get to where we need to get to. A lot of us in this season, we are building so much in our lives. We're building so much, and we're reconnecting with families who have been disconnected. We're reconnecting with families. We're reconnecting with people in our lives that we were supposed to be still connected with. Uh, Whether that person or whether you went your separate ways, there is a season and there's a reason why you've had to reconnect yourself back to maybe a family member or a person in your life that you have not talked to or you have not seen, professional wise or lifestyle wise, business wise. There's a reason why you had to reconnect yourself back to that business or that business plan. You had to reconnect yourself back to that opportunity that you said no to, that you was really supposed to go forward with. Because there are some things that we are supposed to connect ourselves with, but we look at the other thing, or we look at the other people and we think that the other people are a good fit, or we think that the other thing is a good fit and it's really not. But then when we get into a place where we can really see through the lens and see that, wait a minute, I've analyzed this is not a good fit for me, or this is not a good fit for my brand, this person is not a good fit to be in my future. We've got to take all of those things in perspective. So I encourage you on today to walk in your truth, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how frustrating it gets. Take one day at a time and begin to analyze things for yourself. Begin to analyze what needs to be around you. Just like I have to analyze what is a good fit for Karen, who needs to be around Karen, who can see my vision like Karen sees it. I know for one that God knows and He sees it because He gave it to me. But the people that He's put here on earth, who is a good fit to be in my circle and in my corner, who's gonna have my back, who's gonna be there when they need to be there, who's gonna hold me accountable like I will hold them accountable. So, because sometimes we just gotta analyze like who we are dealing with and what we are dealing with. Like I said, lifestyle changes, family changes, business changes, and like I said, sometimes we have disconnected ourselves from some things that we were supposed to be connected with because we were looking at the other thing or the other things, and sometimes we just gotta analyze. And so I know in this season I've said a lot of no's, and I've said a lot of no's within the last season. I would say within the last 2 years, I've said a lot of no's to people, places, and things because I know that it wasn't a good fit. But if I would have went beyond, 3 years ago, if it was before 3 years ago, when I wasn't that wise, I wouldn't have known. And then some things still try to creep up in my future, and I'm like, no. I almost said yes, but at the end of the uh, question mark, at the end of the day, I was like, no. Sometimes you think it and you like, well, maybe this can work, or maybe this person can work, but then you realize you start seeing familiar things that wasn't good for you, and you know how the familiar things are going to turn out because you've been there before, so you say no. So I just want to encourage you all to continue to walk in your truth, Continue to stay consistent and persistent in your purpose. Continue to do the things that you've been called to do. Continue to do the things that needs to be done in your life, and embrace people that cheer you on, embrace people that love you, and embrace people that want to see you win. Um, and that's going to see your future as you see it. So I hope you all have a happy Monday. This is Monday Motivation, your life coaching with Karen, and I will see you Thursday on Therapy Thursday Conversations. Have a good day. Bye.
Artlist.io